What if Wonder Woman didn't come from Greek myth, but from a forgotten Celtic world of magic, prophecy, and goddess power? The clues have been hiding in plain sight.
Wonder Woman's bracers deflect bullets. But did you also know that they mirror the ancient Celtic shields used to repel otherworldly forces? Her Lasso of Truth echoes Celtic binding spells that compel absolute honesty. These aren't coincidences, they're clues to Wonder Woman's secret Celtic DNA that DC Comics never actually fully acknowledged. Hidden in plain sight, Wonder Woman's powers, her weapons, and even her Paradise Island bear unmistakable fingerprints of Celtic goddesses who commanded both battle and wisdom, centuries before Diana Prince ever graced a comic page in our 20th and 21st century mythology. The evidence is hiding in mythology's shadows, waiting to be discovered. As we peel back the layers of comic book lore to expose the ancient Celtic framework that gives Wonder Woman her enduring power, what we discover reveals why she resonates so deeply. She's not a modern superhero, but the reawakening of the divine feminine archetypes that Celtic peoples worshipped thousands of years ago. This isn't just about fictional character origins. It's about how ancient myths actually transform and survive, flowing through the ages and into our modern stories. Somewhat like an underground river that we rarely notice, the Celtic goddess Brigid, Morrigan, and Rhiannon didn't disappear. They evolved, ultimately emerging in the 20th century as the most powerful female superhero of all time. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the specific Celtic deities whose power mirror Wonder Woman's abilities, the striking parallels between Themiscira and the mystical Isle of Avalon, and how Wonder Woman's iconic weapons contain magical properties straight from Celtic tradition. You'll never see Diana Prince the same way again. The evidence begins in the mists of Avalon, where powerful women once commanded forces beyond mortal understanding. But before we begin, so that I don't interrupt again, thank you for watching. It has been a dream of mine to tell stories of entertainment and stories that inform, like this one. Please look at some of our other playlists. There is a link in the description below. But also, please like and subscribe, as you know, or even share these with your friends and others who might enjoy this content. It does help us grow. But let's get back to the myths of Avalon. The Amazon origins, a paradise island shrouded in mist. Picture an island sanctuary hidden by mortal eyes, by enchanted mists. A place where powerful women train as warriors. They hone their wisdom and they live in harmony with the natural world. Many would immediately recognize this as Themyscira, home of Diana Prince and her Amazonian sisters. But long before Wonder Woman's Paradise Island appeared in comic books, another mystical isle existed in ancient Celtic lore. The Isle of Avalon, whose name whispers of apple trees and abundance, emerges from the myths of Celtic mythology as a sacred realm beyond ordinary reality. Ruled by powerful women with extraordinary abilities, it served as both sanctuary and source of otherworldly power. Morrigan Le Fay, sometimes portrayed as a goddess incarnate, presided over the mysterious realm alongside her sisterhood of priestesses. Does this sound familiar? The parallels are striking. Both Avalon and Themyscira exist outside the boundary of the known world, veiled from ordinary sight. Both serve as a home to women of exceptional ability and wisdom, Both represent a perfect balance between strength and harmony the outside world has lost. Both of these perfect realms reflect humanity's universal longing for Eden and paradise lost, maybe like Milton described, hinting at how mythologies often preserve fragments of deeper spiritual truth. When William Moulton Marston created Wonder Woman in 1941, he drew from Greek mythology for sure, for her Amazonian heritage, yet the specific concept of an isolated island paradise ruled by powerful women bears an uncanny resemblance to Celtic Avalon. Perhaps through cultural osmosis or the collective unconscious, the ancient Celtic island found new life in the pages of DC Comics, but the connections run much deeper than geography alone. The goddess within, Celtic deities in Diana's DNA. Celtic mythology celebrated powerful female deities long before Wonder Woman raised her bracelets in defense of justice. These goddesses embodied an intricate balance of seemingly contradictory qualities. Both nurturers and warriors. Both healers and defenders. Consider Brigid, whose presence in Celtic mythology spans healing springs, sacred flames, and the forge of creation. This triple goddess commanded both the gentle arts of healing and the fierce skills of metallurgy. Her sacred flame was tended by all female priesthood, reminiscent of the Amazonian society. When Wonder Woman both heals the wounded and forges ahead in battle, is she not channeling the same divine duality? Then there's Morrigan, the phantom queen of battle, sovereignty, and fate. Often appearing as a trinity of goddesses, she would transform into the crow above the battlefields, guiding warriors and claiming the fallen. Her connection to both victory and death made her feared and revered. Wonder Woman, too, walks this line, fighting when necessary, but always seeking a path to peace. Understanding that true strength comes from wisdom rather than bloodshed. Perhaps most revealing is Rhiannon, the Celtic horse goddess whose name means great queen, portrayed riding a magnificent white horse that no one could catch. She moved with supernatural speed that made her appear almost to fly. Sound familiar? Before Wonder Woman gained the power of actual flight in later comics, she was often depicted riding currents of air with surprising similarity to Rhiannon's untouchable grace. These goddesses weren't distant figures on mountaintops. They moved through the mortal world, intervening when necessary, much as Diana leaves Themyscira to protect humanity. They represent an integrated female power that balanced strength with compassion, warfare with wisdom. What's particularly fascinating is how Wonder Woman embodies not just one aspect of these goddesses, but the harmonious integration of them all, suggesting that her character draws from a deeper well of feminine divine power than her Greek origins alone would suggest. Wonder Woman's weapons, forged in ancient magic. The tools of Wonder Woman's heroism carry echoes of Celtic magical implements and traditions that predate her comic book by centuries. Most iconic is her Lasso of Truth, compelling anyone in its grasp to speak with absolute honesty. While often attributed to Greek influences, this weapon bears striking resemblance to the Celtic principle of geas, a magical obligation or prohibition that cannot be broken. Celtic mythology is filled with binding oaths and truth spells that compel honesty. Celtic kings and warriors were bound by the word, and breaking such bonds brought supernatural consequences. The lasso represents this ancient understanding that truth itself holds power, a concept Celtic druids held sacred. Wonder Woman's indestructible bracers that reflect even the most powerful attacks mirror the Celtic warrior traditions of arm rings and shields. Celtic shields weren't merely defensive tools, but symbolic connections to the other world, often decorated with spirals and symbols of protection. When Diana crosses her braces to create a shield of energy, she channels this ancient Celtic understanding of boundaries between worlds. Even her invisible jet, which allows Wonder Woman to move unseen through the skies, resonates with Celtic beliefs in the other world, a realm that exists alongside our own but remains invisible to mortal eyes. Celtic mythology describes thin places where the veil between worlds can be crossed. Her ability to vanish from ordinary sight while still affecting our world mirrors the Celtic understanding that the unseen realms are no less real than the visible ones. What's remarkable is how these weapons form a cohesive magical system rather than simply random superpowers. Each represents a different aspect of Celtic magical understanding: truth binding, protection, and movement between realms. Together, they suggest Wonder Woman operates within an ancient magical tradition that would immediately be recognizable to Celtic priestesses and warriors. The legacy of Wonder Woman, a modern myth that takes flight. What makes Wonder Woman's story so enduring? Why does this character continue to inspire generation after generation? Perhaps because she isn't merely a modern invention, but a reawakening of ancient archetypes that have spoken to humanity for thousands of years. The Celtic goddess represented ideals their society valued: strength without brutality, wisdom alongside power, and fierce protection of what matters most. Wonder Woman carries these same values into our modern world, showing us true heroism comes not just from physical strength, but from compassion, truth, and wisdom. In an age where technology has replaced magic and skyscrapers have replaced sacred groves, we still hunger for these ancient truths. When Wonder Woman stands against injustice, she reconnects us with the Celtic understanding that power carries responsibility. When she chooses compassion over vengeance, she channels the healing aspect of Brigid. When she speaks truth to power, she invokes the sacred Celtic obligation to honesty. Wonder Woman endures both because she is both thoroughly modern and profoundly ancient. She speaks to our contemporary challenges while drawing strength from ageless wisdom. She offers us not entertainment, but a reconnection to values our ancestors understood. The delicate balance of strength and compassion, justice and tempered with mercy, and the fierce protection of those who cannot protect themselves. Beyond the page, the unfolding mystery. As Wonder Woman continues to evolve across comics, television, blockbuster films, her connection to these ancient roots becomes both more subtle and profound. Each new iteration seems to unconsciously reach back to those Celtic foundations, suggesting that the character's creators tap into something deeper than they perhaps intended. Gal Gadot's portrayal in recent film emphasizes Wonder Woman's connection to nature and her belief in truth above all else, qualities that would make her immediately recognizable to ancient Celtic peoples as a woman of power and wisdom. The 2017 film No Man's Land scene, where Diana advances alone across the battlefields, evokes the Celtic understanding that certain battles must be fought even when victory seems impossible. That courage itself holds power. What other ancient connections remain to be discovered in Wonder Woman's story? What forgotten goddesses might we recognize in her ongoing adventures? The exploration continues, for myths never truly die. They simply transform, taking new shapes while carrying eternal truths. As we close our time by the fire today, I invite you to look with new eyes at the stories that fill our modern world. Behind the bright color of comic pages and the special effects of blockbuster films, ancient myths continue their work, connecting us to timeless truths and courage, justice, and the divine feminine power that has inspired humanity since we first gathered around fires to share these stories. Until next time, fellow travelers between worlds, the flame burns eternal, and the story never ends. If you enjoyed this exploration of Wonder Woman's Celtic roots, please like and subscribe to the Fireside Storyteller. And remember to share this content with others. Thank you. Join us next time as we uncover the ancient origins of another beloved character. The past is never as far away as it seems.